You're here one day. It means that you slept into a room. Where did you sleep?
Grand Hotel.
Sorry?
Grand Hotel?
Grand Beach. Okay.
Grand Beach.
Okay, all right. You've seen probably at the entrance of your bedroom a little box on the right side. Okay, you know what it is?
Mezuzah.
What is a mezuzah?
It is the scroll.
The Shema is, okay, there's a scroll. The box is not the mezuzah. It's the scroll that is inside, the parchment that is inside. That's called a mezuzah. Mezuzah comes from the word to lazuz, to move. Because you move under the doorpost of the door, right? And it's something to remember one thing. Doorpost, does it ring a bell? We just talked about it.
Write it on your doorpost and upon the gate.
Okay. The parchment has the Shema, so the unicity of God. Also says that you're going to put the word of God on the four corners of your house. By the way, as an analogy, you've seen religious Jews with a little box on their head and on their arm. It's not a radio to talk to God. No, it's the same as the mezuzah. The same text, except the feeling. Exact. Except that on the headpiece, instead of being written, you're going to put the word of God in the four corners of your house. It says you're going to put the word of God on your front head. And it said that the one on your left arm, you're going to put the word of God next to your heart. Just for your information, there's one parchment in the headpiece, and there are four parchments in the heart piece, arm piece. Why?
Okay, yes, see.
Because on the box that is attached to your left arm, next to the heart, there are four chambers, four chambers to put the four parts of the parchment. On the headpiece, it's one parchment with four columns, because the skull is made of four pieces. Okay, and the text inside is the same. The Shema, you're going to put the word where it has to be put, and what I think is the most Zionistic part of it is when the Hebrews approached the promised land, God addressed to them by saying, the land you're entering is not like the land of Egypt, where you used to water your field by using your foot. I tried to water my garden with my foot, nothing came out. And then I read the text, it's not like in Egypt. How do you water a field in Egypt? Where do you have the fields in Egypt? Alongside the Nile. If you want to water your field, you use your foot and you make an opening in the bank of the river and the water flows in. Because the land you're entering into is a land of hills and valleys where the soil will drink water from heavens. What is water from heavens? You came yesterday, you've seen it. Rain. Okay. And this is typically Jewish. If you want to have water, you need to find a way to have water all year long. The Jewish thing is to make something. You don't know how grateful I am that we don't celebrate Christmas and that we don't have a user manual to build a Christmas tree. It should have been a book of 5,000 pages with do's and don'ts. But this is how it works with the Jews. Okay? Do's and don'ts. Which means that if you want to live in this country, you need to do things. Okay? Who are doing things in the country? Mostly the inhabitants, well, this time the Jews, in the ancient times, the Jews too. Now, the rest of the prayer says, if you pray for one God and one God only, with all your heart, all your strength, and all your love, God will provide you the rain in time. It's a very important information. The early rain and the late rain. So now you know the dates. No. The early rain is around Passover, and the late rain starts with the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot.
This is amazing.
Okay? If you pray for one God, God will provide you the rain in time, so you can gather your grain, your wine, and your oil. This is the basic staple for food in this country. Should you pray for many gods, God will close the skies, it will stop raining, and you will surely die in a good land the Lord gave to you. Okay? What is the connection between this and the mezuzah? You just heard it. Because if you want to survive, it's not Kansas. It rains here 30, 35 days a year. That's it. So what do you need to do in a place where you have no rivers? You need to collect water, and this is the collect water. Yeah, well, you know, California should use the Israeli techniques to save water, and I lived in Northern California, and it made me crazy. Okay, now something important. What do you think happens? And this, because I'm going to teach you some Hebrew. Because if you know a little bit more Hebrew, you're going to have another view on the scriptures. What happens to that water that stays between Passover and the tabernacles in that cistern when you have 107, 115 degrees outside? It
evaporates.
No, what happens, it starts to rot. It smells bad. It tastes bad. And you have no other water. You drink that water, you get sick. You don't drink water, you die. What do? You put hyssop, doesn't work. Pasteur wasn't born at the time, so nobody knew that you had to boil the water. So what do? No. It's such an expensive commodity that you cannot add salt to water, and then you cannot drink the water afterwards. You're going to die anyway. So, no, you're going to mix it, and I'm not kidding, with wine. People were drinking wine every day in the water. No, Timothy 5. Ah, okay. Okay, drink a little wine. Okay. Okay. So, but the idea is, if you add wine to the water, you will remove the bad taste and the bad smell, part of it, and you're going to dose off the germs and the bacteria. People weren't taking antibiotics, and they had a much stronger immune system than today. But this brought something very special in the Hebrew language. There's a word in Hebrew to say to pour. To pour water, you say lishpoch mayim. Lishpoch. Wine, you don't say lishpoch because it has an idea of spilling. You use a word